Hello everybody! It has been so stinking long since I filmed. I'm really excited to be filming today. It's been like a month. I have had the most miserable month. I got sick. I had really terrible allergies that made me feel awful for a couple of weeks. Then I came down with something that I was vacillating between, like, was this COVID? Was this the flu? Am I just sick? Because I never got a fever, but I was just exhausted. I had terrible body aches. I went to get my first COVID shot and I had a bad reaction to that. So, at any rate, I'm finally here, and to ease into it, I thought I would just do my makeup and chit chat with you guys. Hope you're doing well. Okay, so to start out with, I'm gonna use the NYX Marshmallow Primer. I got the mini of this just to try. I don't really care for primers. There are like one or two I've ever used that I think actually do anything. But I thought I'd give this one a try. It's so expensive. I just have the little itty bitty one. This one's, excuse me, 0.27 fluid ounces. So I don't think I'll repurchase it. It smells so strongly. There's this really sweet scent to it that I just don't love. And it feels nice. I mean, it's really moisturizing, but I can just use moisturizer for that. So I'm just using this up. Then for concealer, I'm going to use my Urban Decay All Nighter Waterproof Full Coverage Concealer. This one is a little bit dark for me. I got it at TJ Maxx. It's in the shade Light Neutral. So it's slightly dark, but, you know, nothing terrible, as you can see. So the elephant in the room, the other thing, this guy, I've had this sunspot on my face for years, like these, just from being stupid and not wearing sunscreen when I was younger. And now I'm 35 and getting sunspots. But this one started to get larger, slightly larger, and it changed color. It went from like brown and flat. Like this one just feels like normal skin. If you have any sunspots or age spots, you know how those feel. This one got raised and turned slightly red, and it just worried me because, you know, moles and spots on your skin aren't supposed to do that. So I went to my doctor, and he said that he thinks it was just essentially an inflamed sunspot, which I didn't really know was a thing that could happen, but my mask, we're thinking, might be the culprit because, you know, it goes like right across it. So he said that it didn't really fit the bill for what you would typically look at and think of as skin cancer. So what we're trying is just freezing it off. He used you know, the spray stuff that I'm really eloquent. He sprayed the liquid nitrogen or whatever it is on it, and so before it gets better, it looks like this. So hopefully in the next week or so, this should basically, kind of gross, but just kind of like scab off and disappear. So we will see, but PSA to anyone who has any kind of spots or suspicious moles anywhere on your skin, go have that checked out. Could be something serious. I was kind of nervous. Okay, so for powder, I'm going to be using the e.l.f. Halo Glow Setting Powder, so loose powder, and I have the shade Light. I originally bought this, don't ask me why, in shade like medium beige or something, which was way too dark. I don't know what I was thinking. And so I used it like once or twice, and I did not like it because it was, I mean, it made my face like a dark yellow color. So I finally repurchased it in the correct shade. I've just heard a lot of really good things about this and thought I should give it another try, especially since it's so inexpensive. And I mainly gravitate towards drugstore. I don't know about you guys. I definitely have some high-end products that I love. But everything I'm using today, actually, I was just looking unintentionally, is drugstore affordable. I have such a temptation to want to try to cover this thing up, but I'm not supposed to put anything on it. I'm trying to figure out how I'm gonna do blush around it, but I have not worn makeup since I had this done. This is my first day. It's been like 3 or 4 days since I went in and had this done. It's not painful at all, even when I touch it, but I'm obviously not supposed to put a bunch of makeup on it. My doctor, when I was asking him about, you know, washing my face and things like that, he told me just not to use an exfoliator, like a scrub, which felt like horrifying to me. Who would do that? Like, go get something burned off your face and then use like a rough facial scrub? I don't know. It's not my journey. I pulled out this palette. This is the original. I love this thing. And I like never pull it out. Like maybe a few times a year I pull this out and use it, and I always, I don't know, like every time I use it I'm like, wow, this is so good, why don't I use it more often? So I thought today, since I'm just kind of having fun, you know, why not pull it out, give it some love. So I usually go in with, the only thing I dislike about this palette is I prefer to go in with a matte skin colored shadow. And this one, the two lightest shades in the palette that would be good for that, both have a little bit of shimmer in it. It's nothing terrible, but I typically, let me see which one, I don't even remember which one I typically use for this. There's one that feels like it has more shimmer than the other. Well, they're both pretty shimmery. You can see one is more of like an icy white and one is more a yellowy tone one. That's what I do. I'm remembering now. I take this one. This is the lightest matte in the palette. Clearly, it's been a while since I used this. What have you guys been up to? Is anybody getting your COVID vaccines? I'm curious how people are tolerating them. I got the Moderna. My husband got the Pfizer and he had like no side effects at all. And I got Moderna and felt pretty miserable for about 3 days. And that we know of, neither one of us has had COVID. I know they say that your symptoms can sometimes be worse if you have had COVID. But I feel like most people I know didn't seem to have many side effects. I'm curious if you did or didn't. Which one did you get? Okay, now I'm gonna take this shade here. I don't have the paper. I kept it, the one that has all the shade names on it, but I didn't bring it down here with me. So I'm gonna take this one and just put it in the crease. I did not get the second large palette like this that was the Jaclyn Hill collab with Morphe. It just looked, if I'm remembering correctly, it was a lot of like reds and pinks and purples, which I know are colors that Jaclyn really gravitates towards, but for me, I'm definitely a neutrals girl. Like the 4 pops of color in this palette in the corner, the like blues and purples over here that everybody was so excited about, I've never used. I think I've done my daughter's makeup. She's 8, so I've done my daughter's makeup just for fun a couple of times, and she's like deep into mermaid, unicorn type tones. So I've used those on her, but I just don't go for colorful palettes. They look so pretty, but I know in reality I won't actually wear them very often. What do I want to do next? This is one of the problems I have with palettes like this. They're super large, particularly with one like this where the majority of the palette appeals to me. Like I never know which color to go in with. I'm trying to decide. I have a little bit of like a mustardy sort of vibe going on there. I always want to go in with this one. I adore this color. I want to say it's called Pukey maybe. Okay, I'm gonna go for it. I never do like a yellow look, but yeah, I think I'm gonna go in with this shade next. I don't know, yellow is a color that I am so intimidated to play with. I don't know about you guys, but like I know everybody raves about the Urban Decay Naked Honey palette and the ColourPop Honey. I know everybody was so excited when they came out with that. And they look beautiful, and all the looks I see people doing with those are super gorgeous. And I am just too nervous to do a yellow shadow. I don't know, I don't really have any yellow clothing. I just feel like it's a color that does not necessarily look great on me, even though I adore it. We're gonna push through that and give it a try anyhow today. I feel like I need something deeper on my outer corner though. Like this is just a pretty one-dimensional monochromatic sort of look. I think I'm gonna take this, just kind of a plain old brown. Pop that on just to the outer corners here. That's not quite as dark as I want. I think I'm gonna actually switch over to this one here. It's kind of a cool, a really deep, cool brown. I'm curious if there are colors that you are kind of nervous to approach or play around with. I know blues and purples are ones that I always struggle with as well. I feel like growing up in the 80s and early 90s, when people just used to do the like bright blue or almost like powder blue all over the lid, ruined me for blues. I see so many absolutely gorgeous blues, blue looks that people do, you know, on Instagram or YouTube or whatever, and I just, every time I try, I either go for such a subtle blue or like a super deep navy so that it almost just doesn't look blue at all. Or I just feel like I can't pull it off and I take it off. I feel so much more at ease playing around with like reds or more subtle oranges, even some like purples, not bright purples necessarily, but like plums and things like that. I just got the Samantha March Ofra Life's a Draft collab, and I really like that palette, and it's, you know, like an all purple palette. I keep looking over here. I forgot to bring a mirror down, and this palette of course does not have a mirror in it. Okay, I think that's okay for now. And then I decided for my lid, I'm gonna go in with this really beautiful gold shimmer. And I always apply shimmers with my finger. I never even try to apply them with a brush. I don't, what about you? I just feel like I get such a better application, so much more impact using my finger. That's really pretty. I like that color a lot. I'm also realizing I didn't bring down any makeup wipes or Kleenexes, so hopefully I don't get this all over myself. I'm gonna do my brows quickly. I am trying to use this up. This is the NYX Micro Brow Pencil, and I'm in the shade Ash Brown. I really like this. Has, you know, a spoolie on one end, micro brow, tiny little guy on the other. I've really been wanting to try out one of the like brow markers. Wow, this is hard. It's hard to do your brows on your phone. I have to get in my purse. So much better. anyway, I really want to try one of the, I think I'm thinking of like the Urban Decay Brow Blade. I feel like some people really like that, some people not so much, but something like that. I'm just really curious. I've never tried it. I only recently even tried a brow pomade, so even that's new to me. I didn't do my brows when I was younger at all, and as you can see, I have I have a gold swatch. Oh my god. Obviously, I had to go get my makeup wipes. Brow pencils. Oh, I just recently started using brow pomades. When I was younger, like I said, I didn't do my brows at all. Oh my god. Right there too. So when I started doing my brows, I just got a brow pencil because that felt like the most accessible thing, the easiest thing to use. And I just kind of stuck with it. It worked for me, so it's what I'm used to, but I'm starting to feel more adventurous. I've also never gotten my eyebrows threaded. How about you guys? I went one time to get my brows waxed. This was years and years ago. I think I was in college maybe. I went to get them waxed, and I went to like a really nice salon here in town. It was like one of the more expensive ones. And I had my brows and my upper lip waxed. Oh man, I had a bad reaction. It was one of the times I really first learned that I have really sensitive skin. It turned bright red and got super swollen, and I remember they did like complimentary soda and bottles of water and stuff, so they had to give me like 2 bottles of water to put on my brow and my upper lip as I walked out. I was so embarrassed, and I never went back. I've never had anything else waxed since that day. So I decided brow pencils would be fine. I would just stick with brow pencils. I know so many people love waxing. It terrifies me after that. Okay, I'm gonna go in with some Milani Clear Brow Gel. This stuff's fine. I don't love it. I don't hate it. It does an okay job. My brows tend to move around a ton. So the only brow gel I've found that really holds them in place is the Benefit 24-hour brow setter, but that's more expensive, and I'm kind of a drugstore gal most of the time. The other thing I don't like about the Benefit one is that if you get it on your skin, which I do, I don't know about you guys, I'm kind of sloppy with my brow gel when it's not tinted, but if you get it on your skin, that stuff is like hairspray. It dries down, and you can see this like clear, shiny strip. It also has a tendency to almost like dry and flake a little bit, and I think that's largely because the one that I have is getting pretty old. I need to replace it, but again, it's expensive. It's $20-some. The one I have is like a mini size that I got in a set that came with a small one of their like micro brow pencils, essentially. For blush, I'm gonna try to work around this, but I'm gonna use the Milani Luminoso. This is just like a tried and true, beautiful, shimmery blush. I don't wear highlighter super often, and I really love a glowy blush in place of that, and this one is wonderful. Okay, let's see here. I know I can go back here. Get the blush back here. So this is the second one of these I've owned, and as you can see, this thing came off, and the first one I owned, the same thing happened, and that's why I replaced it. I know this looks like I'm touching it. I promise I'm not. That's why I replaced it, is because it came off, and I keep, like right now, I just put the top in it like that and then close it upside down. But I just got tired of doing that, and it kept coming off, and then the actual blush started getting, like when I put it in my makeup bag, the actual blush kept getting poked and gouged, and finally it broke. So I bought a new one, and it did the same thing. Does this happen to you guys, or is it just me? Okay, I'm trying to decide if I want to add anything else to my eyes. I don't typically do shadow underneath. I have such dark under eye circles. I feel like it doesn't look great. But I'm trying to decide if I want to do anything more with shadow before I throw on my mascara. I think I might take more of that really dark brown shade that I used and just deepen the corners up a little bit more. Now that I've kind of got the eye look all together, I feel a lot less intimidated by the yellow. I don't think it looks terrible. I don't know. What do you guys think? Thumbs up, thumbs down, let me know. Okay, for mascara, I am obsessed with this. It's so good. It's the Sky High, but the waterproof, and I hate waterproof mascara. If you've watched any of my other videos, you hear me say that like every time I use this. I hate waterproof mascara so much, but my lashes are terrible. They're fairly sparse. They point straight down. I curl the bejesus out of them, and the curl doesn't hold. Like they may look nice for 10 minutes or something, but then they fall no matter what mascara I use. Ones people rave about that are curling and lengthening and everything else just don't typically work for me. This mascara is the very first one I have tried in my 20 plus years of wearing makeup that holds the curl. It's amazing. And I actually just bought the waterproof one initially because everybody was raving about this mascara and I wanted to try it, but it was sold out everywhere. And then I was at my Target one day and they had it. And so I snatched it up without even really paying much attention. I think this one's brownish black, which I'm fine with. I like brown mascaras. So I just snatched it up without even really thinking about it. And then when I got home, I realized that it was waterproof. So I begrudgingly tried it and it just shocked the you-know-what out of me. For some reason, when I apply this, though, it always looks better on this eye, on my right eye, than on my left. And I think it's because my lashes on this side are slightly more full. Like, I feel like on the left side, I get this slight bit of clumpiness that I don't get on my right side. Like, not clumps of mascara necessarily, but like the mascara makes the lashes stick together. See what I mean? Like, this one seems more separated than this one. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy. Okay, that's it. I'm keeping it real with this video today since it was my first one back after so long. I don't really wear lip color since we're wearing masks all the time. So I just do some Blistex. This is my favorite, the Blistex Medicated SPF 15. I'm a chapstick freak, so I have this on me at all times. I probably apply chapstick 50 times a day. I don't know about you. Anyway, that's it. I like the way it came out. Maybe that's because I haven't worn makeup in nearly a month. But I'm pleasantly surprised by the yellow. I like it. Let me know what you think. And it's great to chat with you guys again. Hope you have a lovely day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.